Dear students, again, let's complete what we have already started before to take this part to begin with tenses in English. Tenses in English are only two, as you know, present and past. We make small touches on them without details even. Perhaps you have already studied them in detail. It is time to remind you of what you have studied, and I hope you are to follow well. Let's begin with present simple. This is the way in which we make continuous or we make simple actions. You should get your verb plus s or es or ies in the third person. By the third person we mean the words he, she, and it. We move directly to adverbs. The adverbs are words that are used especially to show the type of the tense used, and we refer directly now to the present simple. If you find any of these, your action is simple. Always, often, sometimes, never, usually, generally, every day, once a week, etc. These adverbs have their own position, as you know. Single adverbs: always, often, sometimes, never, usually, generally. A role placed between subject and verb. To say, I always play football, he always plays football, etc. Between subject and verb. As for the other compound words like everyday, you should either put at the end of the sentence or at the end of the sentence. And do the same thing for once a week, twice a day, 3 times a day, etc. All these are put either at the beginning of the sentence or at the end of it. The forms of don't and doesn't. Don't and doesn't. 4 negatives. Don't used with I to say I don't, you don't, we don't, they don't. Doesn't, he doesn't, she doesn't, it doesn't. When you've done something of the kind, you have turned your sentence to be negative. See the examples here. You don't speak Japanese. You don't speak Japanese. I don't speak Japanese. We don't speak Japanese. They don't speak Japanese. Do and does for interrogatives. Do and does for interrogatives, making questions. See the examples. Do you speak French? Do you speak French? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Does he speak French? Does he speak French? So, does used with the third person singular, he, she, and it. When put at the beginning, you make a question, expecting the answer to be yes or no. Also, we move to the present continuous tense. Present continuous tense. See how your action is made from the verb to be plus present participle. The verb to be is am, is, are, plus present participle. See the example here. You are studying English now. You are studying. Here is are at the verb to be, whereas you is the subject of the action. Studying the present participle. Therefore, the present participle means the verb plus the ing form. What's about now? You are studying English now. At this moment. Look at. Be careful. These things always draw your attention to something happening at present. Therefore, similar to adverbs, they tell when the action happens. You aren't swimming now. You aren't swimming now. Have a look upon the first example. You are studying English now. Affirmative sentence. Not negative nor interrogative. You aren't swimming now. Negative sentence. You should add not to the verb to be. to turn your sentence negative. Also, are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? A continuous action made in the form of the question. Are you sleeping? A question that expects the answer to be yes or no. Is he sitting or standing? Is he sitting or standing? He always used with the verb to be is. Is he, is she sitting or standing? We make questions in this way. Remember adverbs and expressions. Adverbs, just like now, it tells about the time at which the action is taking place. And expressions you can call compound words, or expressions are similar to once a week or 3 times a day, 5 times a month, etc. These are expressions. And they also compound words, every day, every Saturday, every month, every week, etc. These are all indicating the simple action. Tenses in English. Present perfect. Present perfect. How to make a perfect action? See the way. Has or have plus past participle. The adverbs are the words which can tell or can show, can make us know the present perfect, ever, never, once, many times, several times, before, already, yet, for, since, etc. These words may be used. If found, they tell, they inform about the kind of sentence which we refer to as perfect. Let's see some examples. I have seen that movie many times. I have seen that movie, that film. I have seen, the way in which we compose a perfect action. Subject plus have plus pp, seen. See, saw, seen. That movie many times. One example. I think I have met him once before. I think I have met him once before. Once means one time. I think I have met. I have met is a perfect action. I have, you have, we have, they have, plus past participle. Has or have, make questions. Yes, no questions, of course. When the word has or have put at the beginning, the sentence ends in a question mark, therefore it turns or it changes into a question. See the example. Hasn't or haven't make negatives. Hasn't or haven't make negatives. Examples. Has he ever traveled by train? Has he ever traveled by train? No, he has never. Has at the beginning and ending with a question mark, therefore it is a way in which we make perfect questions, expecting the answer yes or no. You can do the same thing with have. Simple future. Simple future. The simple future expects the answer or the action to be happening in the future. There are 2 ways of making simple future. You can use will with a verb. Will with a verb. Or you can use be going to. Be going to means am, is, are going to. We see examples to illustrate it and to make it clear more. The adverbs. Tomorrow, next, tonight, ever, never. These are indicators of future actions. Future actions. See the example here. You will help him later. You will help him later. Will. Plus an infinitive. You will help him later. Affirmative sentence. Will you help him later? Will you help him later? Interrogative. Beginning with will. Also, you will not help him later. You will not help him later. Will not can be made won't, W-O-N apostrophe ent, won't, and you read it won't as well. You won't help him later, a negative sentence. As for going to is an action that is used to show future actions. She is going to meet Jane tonight. She is going to meet Jane tonight. If you stop at she is going, a present continuous action. But we treat the action as a whole. Going to is one thing. Going to is one thing and is a sign that used to indicate a future action. Say, after going to, you need an infinitive. You need an infinitive, meet. She is going to meet Jane tonight. They are going to meet Jane tonight. I am going to meet Jane tonight. Very important to have an infinitive after to. Very, very important. So the action is expected to take action into or to take place in the future. It's not happening now, but it will take in the future. The past simple. The past simple means the action happened and finished. How is it made? From the verb plus ed or irregular verbs. Irregular verbs have no constant forms. The forms will change many times. If you have a regular verb, you should add only ed or use irregular verbs. In this case, you get an action that happened some time ago in the past. There are adverbs. What are they? Yesterday, ago, last. Last does not stand alone. Yesterday is known. Yesterday. Ago, always preceded by a number. A week ago. Last week, a week ago. 2 days ago. A month ago, etc. Last week, last month. Every kind of these words will point out the action that happened and finished already. As mentioned, no more examples will be provided because we have no time to explain more. I saw a movie yesterday. See this example. I saw a movie yesterday. What is the present form of saw? It is see. See, saw, seen. See, saw, seen. I saw a movie yesterday. Yesterday is an adverb showing the past simple action. I didn't see a play last week. I didn't see a play last week. Last week is an adverb showing the past action, the action that happened and finished. I didn't, we have turned the action negative. The first one, of course, was affirmative. As for the second example is a negative one. Also, last year I traveled to Japan. Last year I traveled to Japan. It doesn't matter if you begin with last year or end your sentence or action with last year. All are the same. Last year I didn't travel to Korea. Last year I didn't travel to Korea. Didn't will make a negative in the past simple action. Remember that. Did you have dinner last night? Did you have dinner last night? Last night is belonging to the group of last. Did at the beginning makes a question, as is known. And we expect the answer to be yes or no. Did you have dinner? Did and other words are always followed with infinitives. Do you have? Did you take dinner last night? Etc. The past continuous. No difficulty in changing the present continuous into the past continuous. You have to treat is and am as was, are, is, were. Was, were plus past participle. Past participle means a verb plus an ing. See the examples. You were studying when she called. You were studying when she called. Imagine that we have two separate sentences linked by an adverbial when, or while, or as. There are three words used especially with the past continuous tense: when, while, and as. You were studying is one action. She called another action. This sort of action is known as to express two actions. One is long and the other is short. How do you distinguish, how do you know the long action from the short action? The short action is always written in the past simple. Therefore, she called is a short action. You were studying, a long action. What do we mean by long and short? Long means takes a long time. Short action means takes a short action. Then linked by the adverb when. You were studying when she called. When you were studying, she called. This tells or gives us one function of using the past continuous tense. We use the past continuous tense to express two actions. One is long and the other is short. You were studying, long action. She called, short action, linked by the adverbial when. You went studying when she called. There isn't much change. Very simply, we have only negated the sentence. We made it negative. You went studying. We only add not to where as a verb to be. Were you studying when she called? Nothing new as well. We only make a question. Were you studying? When she called? This is the way in which you make questions using the past continuous tense. Use the past continuous to indicate a longer action interrupted. This is what we did just now. The interruption is usually a shorter action in the simple action. There is the same thing which I told you in detail now to say that the past continuous expresses two actions. One is long and the other is short. Half idea that by long we mean it takes a long time, and by short it takes a short time. See the example again. When the phone rang. The phone rang, past simple. She was writing a letter, past continuous. Linked all together by when. When the phone rang, she was writing a letter. This is one way of using the past continuous to show us there are two actions. One happened, one is longer and the other is a shorter one. While is also used as an adverbial. While we were having the picnic, it started to rain. Two actions. One is long, the other is short. Linked by while. While we were having the picnic, the journey, it began to rain. Use the past continuous as well to express the idea that both actions were happening at the same time. In other words, we can say to express or to show two long actions. We expect both sides of the sentence to be made in the past continuous. See this example. I was studying when he was cooking. One example. He was cooking, the other, linked by when. The two actions happened at the same time. They are happening at the same time. And this is one function as well of the past continuous. I was studying when he was cooking at the same time. Both you see are written in the past continuous tense. While they were reading, I was watching TV. While they were reading, past continuous, I was watching TV, past continuous. Therefore, its function is to be used here to show two long actions. Both actions take a long time. That's what we mean. Use the past continuous to show one long action. Also used to express one long action. Let's see the example. Last night at 6 p.m. I was eating dinner. Last night at 6 p.m. I was eating dinner. past continuous, and there is last night to indicate the time at which it happened. Last night at 6 p.m. I was eating dinner. Or all yesterday we were playing cards. All yesterday we were playing cards. We have only one continuous action. It is its function as well to do this. The past perfect. The past perfect, we only change has or have into had. Therefore, had plus pp. This is the way in which you make past perfect. And remember that the past perfect has many uses. We have remembered some of them, especially when we have been doing if 3. In the if clause, you should use the past perfect. There are indicators as well that tells you or shows you how to use the past perfect. See the example. You had studied English before you moved to England. You had studied English before you moved to England. Remember, before and after, especially the two words before or after, are always preceded by the past perfect. We must get the past perfect before, and they follow. You had studied English before. You had studied English after you moved to England. Therefore, after and before show the past perfect. It can show that something happened before another. You can say in other words, there are two things, one happened before the other. See the examples here. I knew Port Sudan so well. I knew Port Sudan so well because I had visited it before. Because I had visited it before. When did you know about Port Sudan? Sometime earlier, of course. You visited Port Sudan earlier, so you know it very well. For this reason, he says, I knew Port Sudan so well because I had visited. I've had visit means I came there before. And then I got the knowledge about Port Sudan. I knew Port Sudan so well because I had visited it before. More clear examples. She had already gone out when I returned home. There are two actions here. See, she had already gone out. I returned home. The two actions, one happened before the other. Which one do you think? She had already gone out. This is the first action. I returned home, the second action. In other words, the action that is written in the past simple supposed to be the second. And the first one has already been written in the past perfect. She had already gone out. When I returned home. This means when I came into home, she had already gone out. She was not at the home at the time. Also, we use the past perfect to report the past simple and the present perfect. There are two things. To report means to change from direct into indirect. To report the past simple. If the direct speech was written in the present, in the past simple, and we want to change it into indirect, we must use the past perfect. And if it is also written in the present perfect, we must also change it by using the past perfect. See the examples below. Ali said, I did many things yesterday. I did many things yesterday. Ali said, what are the actual words of Ali? I did many things yesterday. These are Ali's words. These are Ali's words. And they are written in the past simple. If we want to change them from this direct way to an indirect way, we should need to make some necessary changes. There are some changes we should do. For example, see, when change it, what happened? We've got to get use of the colon, of the two inverted commas, of capitals, of changing pronouns, of changing adverbs. all these must change. See the example after changing. Ali said he had done many things the day before. He had done many things the day before. Ali said as an introductory word stays as it is without change. I change it into he. Have or did made into had done, the past participle. Many things the day before as an adverb used into the day before. Yesterday becomes the day before. Now the direct form, after making these necessary changes, the sentence becomes Ali said he had done many things the day before. Ali said, another example, and here you see the direct speech is written in the present perfect. When changed into indirect, we must use the past perfect. Ali said, notice there are things to be changed and many things must change. Now look at this one and the one that comes after. Ali said, I have just eaten my dinner. Eaten my dinner, not my dinner, my dinner. Now see after changing, Ali said he had just eaten his dinner. His dinner. There are changes, of course, and I hope you are aware of the details. What's about the passive? To tell you about the passive, you must remember the active. The active sentence means a sentence that contains a subject, a verb, and an object. The active sentence contains a subject, a verb, and an object. For example, Ali plays football. Ali plays football. Ali is the subject, plays verb, football is an object. If we want to turn this active into passive, we mean we must omit or leave out the subject, which is the real doer of the action. In this case, we expect some rules to be followed after removing or after the subject's removal. For example, let's enter to the present simple and see how this is made. Keep and learn this rule by heart. Object, we mean the object in the active sentence, plus verb to be. By the verb to be, we refer to am, is, are, plus PP, past participle. This is a way to change the active sentence into the passive one. Ali, for example, Ali plays football. Football is the object in the active sentence. You should put at the beginning in the place of object and see if it is a single or a countable noun. If single, you should use is. If countable, you should use are, and then bring your PP. The sentence will get completed after. Therefore, let me remind you of these rules and learn by heart, or write down if possible. Present simple, object plus am, is, are, plus PP. The verb to be is determined always by the subject. Past simple, object plus was or were plus past participle. Present continuous, object plus am or is or are being plus PP. Very, very important to remember being. If you forget being, you get confused with the present simple. Object plus am being, is being, are being, plus PP. Don't forget being. Very important. Past continuous. Get your object first and then was or were being. We mean was being or were being plus PP. Present perfect. Bring your object first, then has been or have been plus PP. Object plus has been or have been plus past participle. Has been, have been. Very important. Past perfect. Object plus had been plus past participle. Future. Object first plus will be plus PP, past participle. Modals, especially the words can, may, must. If you want to use in the passive forms, do it just like this. Object plus can be or may be or must be plus past participle, and every other modal. All modals are treated the same way. It's time now to move to the question tag. Question tag. Question tag. The question tag, named question tag because it comes at the end, as you see. It depends on two things. Either the action or the sentence is affirmative, the question tag must be negative. You play tennis. Present simple. You play tennis. You play tennis. Present simple. Now, it's an affirmative sentence. An affirmative sentence. We want to complete it by a question tag. We should get either don't or doesn't. To remind you more, you play tennis, don't you? You play tennis, don't you? I play tennis. We play tennis, etc. The sentence is affirmative. The question tag must be negative. Don't you? Also, he plays tennis. He plays tennis. Doesn't he? Doesn't he? You know, doesn't. The negative form is used with the third person. He, she, and it. And don't with I, we, you, they. He plays tennis. Doesn't he? If we do the opposite, you don't play tennis. You don't play tennis. Do you? He doesn't play tennis. He doesn't play tennis. Does he? Very important to remember the sentence. If found affirmative, the question tag comes negative. If it is negative, the question tag comes positive. She isn't cooking now. Present continuous. She isn't. The sentence is made negative. The question tag should be positive. Affirmative. She isn't cooking now. Is she? She is cooking now. Isn't she? And so on. The question tag depends on the action itself. They aren't studying now. They aren't studying now. Are they? They aren't studying now because the sentence is made negative in itself. The question tag should be positive. If you do the opposite, they are studying now. Aren't they? They are studying now. Aren't they? Do the opposite. He has just arrived, hasn't he? He has just arrived. Affirmative or positive sentence. No negation, no interrogation. So the question tag comes negative. According to the present perfect, he has just arrived, hasn't he? Do the opposite. He hasn't arrived. He hasn't arrived. Has he? And so on. We haven't done everything, have we? We haven't done everything, have we? We haven't done everything. Have we? Do the opposite as well. We have done everything. Haven't we? We have done everything. Haven't we? And so on. It is very clear that if the sentence is made negative, you should a positive form in the question tag. You will come with me. Won't you? You will come with me. A positive action. Then the question tag must come negative. You will come with me. Future. Won't you? You won't come with me. Will you? Will you? They weren't happy yesterday. They weren't happy yesterday. Were they? They weren't happy yesterday. Negative. The question tag must be positive. Were they? They were happy yesterday. Weren't they? Weren't they? Remember that. She was her sister, wasn't she? She was her sister, wasn't she? She wasn't her sister, was she? As for the modals, even modals can be used. You can find the purse. You can find the purse. A purse is a bag. You can find the purse. Can't you? You can't find the purse. Can you? And so on. Let's move now to AB questions. AB questions. Complete sentence B so that it has a similar meaning to sentence A, using the words given. This is the address of the question. Number 1. A. Ali and Muhammad are both strong men. Ali and Muhammad are both strong men. In B, you are given a word, as. Use as. When as is used, you should get a sentence of the kind. Ali is as strong as Muhammad. Ali is as strong as Muhammad. C, as. Used as an agent of comparison. As is used to show comparison, and they are the same now in strength. Ali is as. As does not is followed by an adjective only. Only adjective put between as and as. Ali is as strong as Muhammad. A. Chinese are building a new road these days. Chinese are building a new road these days. Being. There is not a chance of using being except in changing active into passive. Change active into passive. Being. If you remember your rule about changing continuous actions from active into passive, we say object plus am being, is being, are being plus PP. Now we are asked to use being to give a similar meaning or to give the same meaning. The sentence begins with a new road. How to complete? How to complete? See? Is being built these days. Is being built these days. Perhaps sometimes you need to use 2 or more words to complete the sentence. Remember, being is always used when changing active into passive. Any. Once you have heard of any, you should remember some. Some used in affirmative sentences and any used in negative sentences. See the example here. There is nothing left in the cupboard. There is nothing left in the cupboard. And we are asked to use any to give the same meaning. We say there is, see, there isn't anything left in the cupboard. Therefore, we have replaced the negation found in sentence 1, where we have replaced it with any. There isn't anything left in the cupboard. There is nothing left in the cupboard. The two meanings are the same. During. Remember, during used before a noun directly. Before a noun directly, before a determiner. Before anything put before the noun. See the example. He broke his leg while they were playing. He broke his leg while they were playing. We want you to use during in this sentence in order to give the same meaning. He broke his leg during playing. During playing. During playing. You see, during comes before a noun. We have added an ing to play to become a noun. And during just put before it. Whose. We are asked this time to use whose. Whose used especially to show belongingness, something possessed. The man was found dead. His car was stolen. These are two separate sentences. We want to join them by using whose. The man was found dead. His car was stolen. It is a chance to make or to use whose to give the same meaning. See, the man whose car was stolen. The man whose car was stolen was found dead. Was found dead. The same meaning. Either. Here you have the choice to do something or to leave it. And either as well does not come alone. It is always either or. Either or. See the example in A. Take this book. Take that too. Take this book. Take that too. There is a possibility for this person to take both actions. We have not to forbid him from taking both books. If used either, see what happens. Take either this book or that. Take either this book or that. Means he has a chance to take both books. Either or. Either or. Also, neither nor. Neither nor. Do you like tea or coffee? Do you like tea or coffee? You can answer by using neither, and you will give us the same meaning as well. I like, see, neither tea nor coffee. I like neither tea nor coffee. We understand this person dislikes both tea and coffee. He doesn't like at all. Such. Remember, such a, such an, that, and such that. There is a rule that we always give. Such a plus an adjective plus a noun plus that. Such a plus an adjective plus a noun plus that. Such an, the same thing. Also, such always replaces so. Such replaces so. So itself replaces such. See example A. Ali is so popular. Popular means beloved. All people like him. Ali is so popular that everyone likes him. So popular that. Stop here a little bit. See how so is used. So plus adjective, popular, plus that. This is the way in which we use so that. So that. We only put an adjective in between. So plus adjective plus that. Here in the example, Ali is so popular that everyone likes him. We can replace so by such, and we should remember the rule that I have already mentioned. See here, B. Ali is such a popular boy that everyone likes him. See, the other part of the sentence doesn't change. The only change happens in the first part. Ali is such a, here is such a. What comes after such a? Popular is an adjective. Boy is a noun. And then the word that. This is the way in which you can use always such a or such an that. Such a, such an, plus an adjective, plus noun, plus that. In sentence A, Ali is both a doctor and an engineer. Ali is both a doctor and an engineer. We want you this time to use not only and to give the same time the same meaning. See, how do we make that? Ali is not only a doctor. Ali is not only a doctor, but an engineer. But an engineer. There is another possibility of using as well as. As well as. How to do that? To say, for example, Ali is a doctor as well as an engineer. Ali is as. Ali is a doctor. Ali is a doctor as well as an engineer. Therefore, as well as can be replaced, and not only but can also be replaced. We move to this part here, this time, how to fill in the gaps with the most suitable words. Choose the best word that fits in the space. Choose the best word that fits in the space. A question of the kind depends on your knowledge of the words given. If you understand the meaning of the words given, you can solve very easily, and you can insert inside without difficulty. Read out the words: busy, for, old, very, problem, wash, parents, serve, on, both. The words are not difficult, of course. Now let's read the text. Busy, for, old, very, problem, wash, parents, serve, on, both. I am 18 and I live with my. What is the most suitable word that you get from the list? Of course, parents. With my parents. And my 17 and 16-year-old sisters. Very clear from when you are asked about your age. How old are you? To say, I am 16, I am 17 years old. Then they are those in the secondary school. What is the most appropriate word to fit in? See, they are both in the secondary school. The two sisters are joining the secondary schools. My dots is that my sisters refuse to do things dots me. See the first gap, my problem. My problem is that my sisters refuse to do things for me. For me. They do not want to Dots me with food. To serve me with food and wash my clothes. They always tell me that they are also busy studying like me, and I should prepare my own food. This makes me very angry. Now, if you see here what we have done previously, you see that the words depends on the good sense. If a word inside after setting it gives a good sense, you are right. If it looks unreasonable or unacceptable, therefore it is wrong. You must have a sense when putting or using the word. Remember and try to understand what it means when chosen. Let's see another one. Choose the best word that fits in the space. The words now: long, find, to, things, fuel, available, local, grind, run out, remote. These are the words. Let's see the text. I live in a small village, a very dots way from the town. The most suitable word looks long. I live in a small village, a very long way from the town. It is very, very far. It is really a remote village, a far village, not near. We depend on the shops, local shops for our daily needs. Many of the dots, look at the word, things we need are not available in the village shops. The only thing you can dots find in the village is the flour mill, where we can grind our grain. Sometimes, though, we need to drive to a town. Many times I have run out of fuel on the way. It depends, as mentioned, on understanding the meanings of the words. Let's see the prepositions. Very difficult to determine how a preposition is defined, but there are some which we can deal with, especially those connected with place, time, and direction. Now the preposition is a word that conveys. Conveys means makes clear, explains relationships between other words, usually in time, place, or direction. See the group of the time. If we want to speak or to describe time, what prepositions are available for us? For example, we say on Sunday. On Sunday. Sunday, of course, is one day of the week. One day of the week. So days of the week in general are all used with on Saturday. In summer, one season of the year, all seasons of the years, you should use the preposition in, and they all indicate time. At 5 o'clock, if you want to tell the time, you have to say it is or I'll see you at 5 o'clock. I arrive at 5 o'clock, etc. These are concerning time. As for place, you say between. Show the place where something is located, where something is put. Between, at work, that's the place where he is, and the bed also shows the place. Direction, into the box, into the box, inside the box. Over the city, over the city, away from here. These are all will direct you to where you want to go. Now we give some touches as well on summary making. And in fact, there are models. You are only to follow and see how they are made. 1. In not more than 15 words, explain the ways of acquiring knowledge and skills. In not more than 15 words. Explain the ways of acquiring knowledge and skills. How we can get knowledge, especially. Now see the passage. Knowledge and skills can be acquired through formal education, such as going to schools, university, and other educational institutions. Also, people can get knowledge informally, such as mechanics, carpenters, who make very rich furniture. Although many of them have not gone to schools, there are also writers and scientists who have never been to school at all. Only they learned by themselves, the result of which they are known as self-taught, This is the text. The question is very clear. Tell us the ways in which we can get knowledge. Only the ways in which we can get knowledge. Now see what we have done. Knowledge can be obtained. Can be obtained means can be got, can be acquired by formal education and informal education. Also, self-taught education does so, the same thing. Very, very few words. Perhaps they are 15 or even less. But they are really the main points, the things needed specially. If you go back to the passage, knowledge and skills can be acquired through formal education. What comes after? Such as going to schools, university, and other educational institutions. These are details. These are examples. We never need at all. You should only bring the fact without any detail, without explanation, without definition. You see? If you go further, also people can get knowledge informally. Quite enough. Here he is going to provide examples when he says such as mechanics, carpenters who make very rich furniture. This is of no importance to us at all. Things of the kind you should not put at all. Although many of them have not gone to schools, there are also writers and scientists. He is going very briefly to tell us that there is a third kind of education which is referred to as self-taught. So you don't need to make this at all. Very briefly, write this. Knowledge can be obtained by formal education and informal education without details, and also self-taught education does so. These are all the key sentences, the main points which answer the question, which is no more than 15 words at all. See the other question. In not more than 20 words, what are the advantages of education for women? A very limited question. We are in need to only 20 words. There is a passage, of course, you are to go through and then pick out only main things, main ideas, write in a continuous little paragraph. Now look at the text. Education has many types. Discoveries are the main result of it. Education is very important for women because it makes them self-confident. It also enables them to bring up their children appropriately. I agree with you, this text is not quite enough. But you can add from yourself, from your own piece of information that you are aware of, everything you know about the advantage that education gives to women. See this attempt. Advantages of education for women can be summarized in helping them develop themselves, bringing up children, and being better parents. See, there are many things dropped from the text, not used. I have given no explanation, no definition, no details, not even examples at all. We only want the main things which we can touch directly without any hesitation. The last or the third one. See number 3. In not more than 20 words as well. How collective work is useful. Collective work is useful. By collective work, we refer to the Arabic word nafir. And I think you are all aware of nafir, collective work. See the passage. We can build hospitals, schools, mosques by practicing collective work. It is used in some rural areas where people need to grow or harvest their crops. Collective works is also done on different occasions, such as weddings, deaths, birthdays, and so on. It is really a useful social practice, and it should be encouraged. This is the text. If we go to the text again, look at me. We can build hospitals, schools, mosques. What are these? These are words which we can put or use only one word instead. What is it, do you think? A general word, of course, which is building. So you can say we can build buildings. We can establish, we can make buildings. No need to use all these words. Where the answer itself begins. It is used in some rural areas when people need to grow or harvest their crops. Grow and harvest their crops. This is one useful point. This is one useful point you should put in mind and look for the other. When you gather them all together, you should write in a continuous little paragraph. Look at this part. Collective work is also done on different occasions, such as weddings, deaths, birthdays, and so on. It is really a useful social practice, and it should be encouraged. See the attempt we have made. Collective work help to establish buildings. To establish buildings means to build buildings. Buildings such as hospitals, schools, mosques, etc. The other use or useful thing, to grow or to harvest crops. To grow or to harvest crops in rural areas looks important. Looks important because it is used especially in these areas. Even collective work is needed also in urban areas. It also offers help in weddings, deaths, and birthdays. I think, my students, it is very easy to do your summary. And nowadays, all pieces or texts chosen are very simple. But they need to understand. They are in need to be understood. You should help yourself, and God helps you too. Up to here, we come to the end, although there are many things which I agree that I have not covered because you see there is no much time allowed. And up to here, I wish you all success and best wishes and regards to you all. Thank you. Goodbye.